Om Vakradunda
Om
Mahakaya
Vakradunda Mahakaya
Surya
Surya Koti
Samaprabha
Samaprabha
Nirvignam
Nirvignam
Kuru
Kuru
Me
Me Deva
Deva Sarvakaryeshu
Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada
Sarvada Saraswati
Saraswati
Namastubhyam
Namastubhyam
Varade
Varade Kamarubini
Kamarupini Vidyarambham
Vidyarambam
Karishyami
Karishyami
Siddhir
Siddhir
Bhavatu
Bhavatu Me
Me
Sada
Sada Guru
Guru
Brahma
Brahma
Guru
Guru
Vishnu
Vishnu
Guru
Guru
Devo
Deva
Maheshwaraha
Maheshwaraha
Guru
Guru
Sakshat
Sakshat
Param
Param
Brahma
Brahma
Tasmai Shri
Tasmai Shri
Gurave
Gurave
Namaha
Namaha
Om Sahana
Om Sahana
Vavatu
Vavatu
Sahano
Sahano Bhunaktu
Bhunaktu
Saha
Sahaviryam
Viryam
Karavavahe
Karavavahe Tejasvina
Tejasvinavadhitamastu
Vadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe
Mavidvishavahai Om
Om
Shanti
Shanti Shanti
Shanti Shanti.
Shanti.
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha.
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha.
Atat Dvitiyodhyayaha.
Atha Dvitiyodhyayaha.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha.
Ashocyananvashocastvam.
Ashocyanyanvashochyastvam.
Prajnavadamscha bhashase.
Prajnavadamscha bhashase.
Gatasu nagatasumscha.
Gadhasuna gadhasumscha.
Anushochanti panditaham.
Nanushochandi panditaha.
Natvevaham jatu nasam.
Natvevaham jathunasam.
Natvam neme janadhipaham.
Natvam neme janadipaha.
Nachaiva na bhavishyamaha.
Nachaiva na bhavishyamaha.
Sarve vayamatah param.
Sarve vayamatah param.
Dehinosmin yatha dehe.
Dehinosmin yatha dehe.
Kaumaram yauvanam jara.
Kaumaram yovanam jadra.
Tatha dehantara praptihi.
Tatha dehantara praptihi.
Dhirastatra na mukhyati.
Dhirastatra namuhyati.
Matra sparshastu kaunteya.
Matra sparshastu kaunteya.
Shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha.
Shidhoshna sukha dukkhadaha.
Agamabhayino nityaha.
Agamabhayino nityaha.
Tam stitikshasva bharata.
Tam stitikshasva bharata.
Every shloka, every teaching is like a pearl. So beautiful, so it deserves to be contemplated every moment. So matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha. That shloka we were reading in the last class. Matra sparshastu kaunteya. Contact of the sense organs, the sense objects, or the producer of the Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukkha, the pairs of opposites, and they are of the nature of coming and going, therefore they are Anityaha, Anat, Anatmanaha, 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 therefore they are anatma. Therefore, tantratikshasva, you cannot change it. That is the nature of anatma. Therefore, what is that to worry about? The coming and going of the opposites is a fact. The change is a fact. So you cannot stop the change. You cannot make the changing to non-changing. Similarly, you can make the non-changing to changing. So, therefore, since you cannot stop from anything from changing, that being a fact, therefore one has to accept the fact. Therefore he says here, thus, when Krishna told Arjuna, endure them, titikshasva, he was not offering advice. He was being objective. Yes. What cannot be cured must be endured, they say. What cannot be cured? When somebody suffers from any disease, that which cannot be cured, then this advice is given. What cannot be cured must be endured. But here it is not like that. Advice is not given, but it is being very objective. What is the need for this objectivity? That's called dispassion, objectivity, dispassion. Somebody translates Vairagya as objectivity, being objective. So therefore you understand the nature of them. Because situations are constantly changing, the pleasant as well as the unpleasant, to think that only the pleasant ones change and not the unpleasant is not correct. What then is there to worry about? For a person who is objective, who has a certain appreciation for what the world and its situations are all about, there is no reason for sorrow. There are just situations to face and act upon, whether inner or outer. There is nothing to be sad about. Na shochyaha. Na shochyahi. Therefore, ashochyan anvashochyaspam. It doesn't deserve grief. There is no legitimate grief with regard to that which are changing, permanently changing, constantly changing. The change is permanent. Therefore, further he said, let us read the next shloka number 15. Yam hi navyatayantyete.
Yam hi navyathayanti yede.
Purusham purusharshabha.
Purusham purusharshabha.
Samadukha sukham dhiram.
Samastukham sukham dhiram.
So mritatvaya kalpate.
Sumrtatvaya kalpate.
E Purusharshaba. E Purusharshaba, Bharatarshaba, iti Bharatana, Rishabha Purushanam, Rishabha, iti Sambodhana. Purusharshaba is the one who is like a Rishabha among the Purushas, the male, courageous. Ete referring to Sukha Dukkhe, that Sukha Dukkha. Sukha Dukkam, ete, the Sukha Dukkha, Dhiram Yam Purusham na Gatiganti. The Sukha Dukkha do not affect the Dhira Purusha, the courageous one. Whom it doesn't affect. That courageous person alone deserves Amrita, Moksha. Amritatvaya Kalpate. This Sukha and Dukkha which doesn't disturb that person, that this person only deserves Moksha. Amritatvaya Kalpate. Who treats, who looks upon, who is objective with regard to the pleasure as well as pain. Because we know both are subject to change, they come and go. Agama apayinaha anityaha. Therefore, it doesn't disturb the person not affected by them. So Arjuna, the prominent among men, Purusha Shaba. Purusha plus Rishabha, Gunasandhi. Here is given Purusha plus Rishabha, A plus Ru. Gunasandhi. Therefore, Purusha Shaba. O prominent among men, the person whom these Sukha and Dukkha do not affect. do not affect. It means he is not disturbed by them. Doesn't cause any dent in the person, any disturbance in the person. Not mental disturbance. Physical anubhava experience may be there, but doesn't cause any mental disturbance. He accepts it is how it is. Therefore, who is the same in pleasure and pain, and who is discriminative? Dhiraha, the word dhiraha is dhira purusha, viveki. He is fit for gaining moksha. So now here Arjuna is facing dukkha. So he's telling dhiraha na vetayan. Dhiraha na vetayanti vetayante. Dhiraha na dhiraha na vetayante. So therefore, dhiram na vetayante ete iti. These vetayante. In this verse, Krishna addresses Arjuna as Purusha Rishabha, whose literal meaning is Rishabha, meaning bull. The bull among men. Purusheshu or Purushanam Rishabha. Among large herds of cattle, the stud bull always stands out because of its size and the big hump on its back. Just as a bull cannot be missed among hundreds of cows, so too Arjuna stood out as the most exalted of men. Even those who did not know who Arjuna was would have acknowledged him because of his brilliance, tejas. He was a man of great accomplishment, a highly recognized person in the society. So he was addressed as Purusha Rishabha, most prominent among men. It's a nice way of addressing Arjuna, encouraging him. That describes Arjuna. A discriminative person remains the same with reference to the opposites. Pleasant and unpleasant situations do not affect the person. Such a person is aware of their coming and going, of their constantly changing nature. In the Bhashyam, Shankaracharya makes it clear that this is not just a matter of practicality. A wise person knows himself as Atma, who cannot be affected by any situation. Such a person is called Dhiraha, meaning one who is discriminating, who has the knowledge of Nitya Atma. The word Pandita used in an earlier verse is replaced here by Dhira, meaning one who is not affected by the opposites and who therefore gains moksha, amrita, amrtatvam. Amrtatva means being subject to mortality. Amrtatvam and na amrtatvam, amrtatvam is to be free from mortality. Knowing the Atma as the one that is Nitya, the wise man gains moksha. So Dhiraha is who has the knowledge of Nitya Atma. Therefore, he gets moksha. He knows Nitya Atma. Atma is Nityaha, Anatma is Anitya iti. Therefore, he gains Amritatvaya Kalpate. So Atma Jnanena mokshaha iti. Only by Jnanam, only by knowledge of Atma, moksha siddhyati. Therefore, wise person gets moksha is the informed person, the knowledgeable person, the viveka, he has got viveka, Atma viveka. He discriminatively understand what Atma is. Different from Anatma, therefore he gains moksha. One who is discriminative, who accepts situations happily, who doesn't allow himself or herself to be swayed by either pleasant or unpleasant situation, is one who is fit for self-knowledge and who already has this knowledge, or who already has this knowledge. So therefore it can be taken that way also. Either he has got this knowledge already, or is not carried about by pleasant or unpleasant situations. Therefore that person is ready for or fit for this knowledge. Krishna obviously wanted to make this fact clear at the outset. Then comes the next important shloka. This is a very profound, meaningful shloka. Let us read. Nasato vidyate bhavaha.
Nasato vidyate bhavaha.
Na bhavo vidyate sataha.
Na bhavo vidyate sataha.
Ubhayorapi drishtontaha.
Uvayorapi drishtontaha.
Tvanayostattvadarshibihi.
Tvanayostatvatarshibhi.
Ubayogo plus api. Visarga preceded by O, followed by A. Therefore, nothing happens. One step back. Repa is therefore joined. All these are good example for doing Sandhi Vicheda. Nasataha plus Vidyate. Room replaced by U. Therefore, Nasato. Then Bhavo plus Nabhavo. Here also Uttvadesha. Then Nabhavo plus Vidyate. There also Uttvadesha. All these are good example. Drishtontaha. There are this Drishtaha plus Antaha. Uttaradesha. Then Guna. Then Pururupa Sandhi. Drishtontaha plus Tvanayos. Here Visarga is replaced by Sakara because followed by Kar letter. All these are good example for Sandhi Vicheda. Like this shloka should take for Sandhi practice. Okay, anyway. Asataha. Asataha means that which is not real. That which is not real is Mithya. Here for Bhashim for this shloka is a long one. Because the shloka is a tricky one. You have to understand the meaning. Asataha meaning unreal, that is Mithya. Asataha na vidyate. Asataha bhavaha na vidyate. Sataha abhavaha na vidyate. Sataha abhavaha na vidyate. Double negative. That is for the unreal, there is never any being. For the real, there is never any non-being. Double negative. The ultimate truth of this is seen by the knowers of the truth, the one who sees, Tattvadashi. Who sees, he knows. Yaha pashyati, sa janati, saha pashyati. Yah pashyati, sa pashyati. Ubayoho api drishtaha, drishtontaha. The ultimate truth, antaha drishtaha. The ultimate truth of this is seen or known to Tattvadashi, the knowers of the truth. This is a very important verse, even though very cryptic. For the asat, a word we shall use as it is. There is no being bhava. For the asat, a word we shall use as it is. There is no being bhava. That is a meaning. In other words, being is not there for asat. And for the asat, and for the sat, there is no non-being. Non-existence is not there for sat. Existence is not there for asat. In the second line of the verse, Krishna went on to say that this fact is known by those people who know the ultimate truth about Sat and Asat. The first line is the crux of the verse. Asat means that something doesn't exist independently. Sat is what exists independent of anything else. What is it that exists independently? Gold and heat, for example, do not exist independently because they depend on a number of factors. There is no absolute gold existing by itself. That something is gold depends on something else. The temperature cannot reveal itself to you by itself unless you have a perception. Therefore, your perception is essential in order to understand that something is gold and something else is hot. When you say this is a pot, does the word pot reveal an object that exists by itself? Or does the object indicated by the word pot depend for its existence upon something else? If it depends on something else, clay, because of which the pot is there, unto which it will go back, then clay becomes the cause, the karanam for the pot. The word pot has no real object outside of the word itself. It has no existence apart from clay. That which has a cause, that which depends on something for its existence, that which doesn't independently exist is called asat. Shankaracharya explains asat further. When we try to prove the existence of things that are dependent upon causes for their existence, such as cold and heat or any given object, we find that there is no self-existent thing at all among the objects of the world. Why? Because what is there is only a form, nama. It's only a rupa, vikara, that keeps on changing, vyavicharati. Vyavicharati means that which keeps on changing, nama, rupa, vikara. It is never the same, nor can it be the same. Shankara goes on to prove a point here. Suppose all pots are made of clay and you have the knowledge of only one pot. You know it is clay. If you know Satya, the truth, the cause, the Karanam of all pots to be non-dual clay, regardless of what form any or all pots assume, you know that they are nothing but this one clay. By knowing that one clay, you know all the pots in the sense that they are not separate from the clay. Although this is a general knowledge, Samanya Jnanam of all parts as clay, but not the particular knowledge, Vishesha Jnanam of individual parts, but it is the knowledge of the whole. Therefore, with regard to the pot, clay is the karanam, that is Sat, pot is Asat, pot owes its existence to clay. Clay, relatively clay also owes existence to its particles, but clay, with regard to pot, it is a karanam, therefore Sat. So here, Asat is that meaning is taken, that interpretation is given in Chandogya. That is a beautiful footnote is there. So that's from the Chandogya Upanishad. This explanation is from the Chandogya Upanishad, where in one particular sentence, Vacharambana Vikaro Namadhyam, that is explained. It's a beautiful statement that is given as a footnote here. In one particular sentence, it is said that before this creation, there was only one thing, Sadeva, Soumya Demagrasi, Sadvastu, which was non-dual, one without a second, undifferentiated. Only Sadvastu was there before. Nothing else was there. From that Sadvastu alone, called Brahma, everything has come and is not separate from it. Everything has come from Brahma, therefore, that which has come from Brahma is not separate from Brahma. Nothing exists apart from Sat. This knowledge was revealed in the Upanishad to Shvetaketu, who had been sent by his father to a Gurukula at the age of 12. He returned at the age of 24, very proud of his accomplishments, having studied the Vedas for 12 years. Shvetaketu's father was a great man. He could not stand his son's arrogance. So he asked his son, "Did you ask your teacher for that knowledge, gaining which everything is known?" The boy replied that he did not think that his teacher knew this. Later he asked his father if there was such a knowledge, and he said, "How can you know one thing and thereby know everything else? If there is such a knowledge, please teach me, O Lord." The same topic is discussed in the Mundaka Upanishad, where Shaunaka asks his question to Angiras. Kasmin Bhagavad Vigyate, Sarvamidam Vigyatam Bhavati iti. The only difference being that the student asked this question to the teacher, whereas in Chandogya Upanishad, the father asked Shvetaketu, who said he didn't know. Then Shvetaketu asked his father to teach him. Now coming back, a clay pot example. Then what is a pot? It is purely a name for a form. Other than this, there is no pot that exists separate from clay. Nor is a clay the pot. If it were, again you would not need to make the pot, the clay being there already. Therefore, clay is not the pot. If you remove the clay, where is the pot? Is it anywhere? Is it something that you have to search for? No. All that is there for the name pot is a form recognized as such. So it's just a rupam, namarupa pot. Anything that is time bound like a pot will change, and you cannot stop it because its nature is to keep on changing. When and how are you going to stop it? Therefore, what are you praying for? What are you sad for? Are you sad for something eternal because it is eternal? No. Sat is that which never changes. It has no non-existence. Abhavaha na vidyate. Abhava at all. Sat is never negated at any time. Whereas Asat never enjoys a being of its own. Therefore, Sat cannot create any sorrow for you, and Asat is incapable of doing so because it doesn't exist in its own right. How can Asat create sorrow? In the vision of the Veda, you are the Sat, and everything else is Asat. Asat cannot be a source of sorrow to Sat, and Sat cannot be a source of sorrow to you because it is you. The whole problem is one of confusion between Sat and Asat, between Atma and Anatma. Asat has no being, no bhava. It has no existence. Thus, it cannot be bhava with that which exists in all the three periods of time. The thing that exists is bhava, and abhava is a thing that doesn't exist. The word bhava comes from the dhatu bhu, used in the sense of existence. Bhu dhatu, bhavati, bhavataha, bhavanti, same bhu dhatu. From that dhatu only, bhava means existence. Abhava, non-existence. So therefore, Sat never had non-existence and Asat never has existence. Then this further it is analyzed. Analysis of existence and non-existence. Important shloka and important topic here. You will see that in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya
Purnasya
Purnamadaya
Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate.
Tamevavashishyate Om
Om
Shanti
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 Shanti.
Harihi Om
Hali Om
Shri
Shri
Gurubhyo
Gurubhyo
Namaha
Namaha.
Harihi
Hali
Om
Om.
Dhanyavadaha
Dhanyavadaha.